Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedules to join me for today's presentation. My name is Matt Alina. I come to you from the Life Markets team here at URL Insurance Group. And you're probably wondering, what does life insurance have to do with Medicare? I'm going to show you. I wanted to get in front of everybody here before Medicare season. We're literally about 2 weeks shy of AEP. I call it Medicare season because that's what I call it. And one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of just put a bug in your ear and let you know that I'm getting a thing saying there's no audio. Let me restart. Can you hear me? Are we good? If you can hear me, type yes. Okay. Yay. All right. Let's start this over, shall we? So, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me today for today's presentation. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Matt Alina, and I am from the Life Markets team here at URL Insurance Group. Some of you may be wondering, what do I have to do with Medicare? And absolutely nothing. However, I'm going to show you how there is a relationship between Medicare and life insurance. We're going to get into that. The other thing that we're going to do is I wanted to put a bug in your ear to because we're about 2 weeks shy of the AEP. And I wanted to let you know that while we're out there serving seniors and serving people and helping them find the most cost-effective ways to provide them and for them to cost-effective ways to have access to their health care, I wanted to let you know that there is another way that we can also be serving them. So keep all of this in the back of your mind as we're going through this. And at the end of the presentation, feel free to ask me any questions that you have. And I'm glad that the audio is working. So thank you very much, everybody, for letting me know that there was no audio. So there are two main things that your clients depend on, the senior citizen clients depend on. One is Social Security and the other is Medicare. Are you aware that our fine government, they view this as entitlement spending? And I'm not going to get into this dissertation about politics and whatnot, but these things that they consider entitlement spending, this is something, I don't know about you, but for me, I have been paying into this since I had my very first job. They've taken money out for Social Security. They take money out for my Medicare. Since I started working and earning a paycheck when I was about 14 years old, working for my old man. So I saw that come out of my paychecks. And here, many years later, when you want to retire, you want to be able to collect Social Security, the government views it as entitlement spending. But the one thing about it is the government is running out of money. So you hear that the Social Security fund that the money draws from, it's one of those things that they're running out of money. And Social Security Administration is quick to shut it down whenever they can, whenever possible. And so the idea behind today's presentation is to protect Social Security using a state-approved life insurance policy. We're going to get into all of that. So what happens when your client dies? Well, the person that's dead, they're dead. They're in a casket, they've been cremated, whatever. they're on that eternal rest. For the person that the surviving spouse, they're grieving, and they may still have a mortgage or rent payment to make. They have utility bills, credit cards, maybe some car payments. There may be medical bills. They still have to provide the basics of life: food, clothing, shelter, other expenses, other debts that are out there. And if they're grandparents, that surviving grandparent still wants to be able to spoil their grandkids. But what happens when one of them dies? Well, in all intents and purposes, when it comes to Social Security payments stop immediately, and the widow loses the lesser of the two benefits. They get to keep the greater amount. So Social Security payments for the deceased, there's an adjustment that's made. So when you're dealing with a husband and wife, and they get to, and there's two sources of Social Security income. The survivor gets to keep the greater of the two benefits, but they lose the lesser of the two benefits. Now, when Social Security payments stop, sometimes the survivor has to pay back the unused monthly benefits back to the Social Security Administration. So it's all prorated based on the month. So if Social Security is paid for the month at the beginning of the month and they die in the middle of the month, there may be 2 weeks that need to go back to Social Security. It's some of these games that they will play. So understand that your clients are relying on Medicare. We know that. Your clients are relying on Social Security. We know that as well. So let's work together to basically help protect Social Security. Your job is to protect the client, Social Security and Medicare. I'm going to ask a rhetorical question because we all know the answer to this. If you had $1 million, if I gave you a check for $1 million, would you take $100,000 of it to protect the other $900,000? Of course you would. $100,000 is 10% of $1 million. So you're taking 10% of the lump sum to protect the other 90%. Another way to describe it is we're taking a dime to protect a dollar. A dime obviously is 10%, 10 cents of a dollar. So when you're sitting down with a client, you've helped them on the Medicare side. And now it's time to take care of their Social Security. We have compliant ways to help you get in front and circle back with your Medicare clients. When you're sitting down to talk to the client about the Social Security protection plan, the idea is to get out a clean sheet of notebook paper, legal, whatever, and you're going to basically make a little T, and you're going to ask some questions. And you're going to have their names at the top. You already know their names. You probably already know their ages because you've already helped them before, right? So you're going to ask them a rhetorical question. You're going to be nodding your head yes as you ask this question. And you're going to say, are you currently on Social Security? Are you currently receiving Social Security income benefits? And of course they are. Ask them this other rhetorical question. It should not come as a surprise, but you're going to reinforce what they probably already know. But you're trying to build rapport, and you're trying to build some a bit of a relationship with them. So you're going to say, do you know how Social Security benefits work when one of you dies? And they should know. Tell them anyway. The surviving spouse, the survivor between the two of you, will get to keep the greater benefit, but you're going to lose the lesser benefit. When this happens, is this going to be financially debilitating for you? And probably, most likely, yes, absolutely. So you're asking them some rhetorical questions. You know the answers. You're reinforcing what they probably already knew by saying you get to keep the greater of the benefit, but you're going to lose the lesser benefit when one of you dies. The variable in this is we don't know when somebody is going to die. We know it is going to happen. It's not an if, it is a when. We don't know when that's going to happen, and we don't know who is going to go first. So here's how we protect the Social Security income. And you tell the clients, I have some really great news. There is a state-approved Social Security income protection plan that is backed by a simplified issue, no exam, whole life policy that will allow you to keep that income. All life insurance that's available in your state is state approved. If it's available for sale, it's state approved. The idea is to get them something that's simplified issue, very liberal underwriting, no exam, quick issue that will allow the client to keep the income. Now, when you're sitting down with a client, don't assume that the client knows more than you or knows what you're thinking. So explain it to them like it's the very first time they've ever heard this. The other thing is, remember, the job at this particular stage, you've already helped them on Medicare. At this particular stage of the game, it is to protect their Social Security income. As you're doing this, you're going to see the questions. You're going to hear the questions that the client's going to have. So as you're doing this and you're formulating your approach, you'll be able to answer the questions before they come up and try to be a step ahead. I will be providing everybody with agent guides on how this works, how to set this up, how to be a step ahead. So I'm going to tell you a little story, and I'm actually going to talk to you about my in-laws. My mother-in-law, her name is Pat. My father-in-law, his name is Ben. Pat, my mother-in-law, has been a longtime pediatric nurse practitioner. She's very successful in that. She was basically put on this earth to be a pediatric nurse practitioner. It's been a blessing to our family as we are raising our kids and now grandkids. She's been a great resource for us. When the kids don't feel well, they've got that strep throat, they got a fever, this or that. So my mother-in-law has always been on call 24/7 for the family and been a resource, and we don't have to pay co-pays. My father-in-law, retired employee from the state of Pennsylvania. So when you're sitting down, these are my clients, Pat and Ben. So let me get into, Pat, like I mentioned, she's a nurse practitioner. Up until COVID, my mother-in-law was working full-time. Since COVID, her hours have been cut to where she's only working a couple of days a week. My father-in-law has been retired and getting a small pension from the state, plus his Social Security. My mother-in-law is at an age where she could work. She's still working. She's making her salary, but she's also collecting Social Security. My mother-in-law's benefit is $3,000 a month from Social Security. Pension, salary does not matter in this. We're looking to protect Social Security. My father-in-law's Social Security benefit is $1,500. Collectively, they're getting a monthly income from Social Security of $4,500 a month. When one of them dies, could be my mother-in-law, it could be my father-in-law. When one of them dies, they're going to lose $1,500 a month. Will that be financially debilitating to them? Absolutely. They'll feel it. I'm going to get into more of the story. Now, as I'm telling you this story, I have altered some of the information in here for dramatic purposes, okay? So my mother-in-law, Pat, my father-in-law, Ben. $3,000 income for my mother-in-law, $1,500 a month from my father-in-law, collectively $4,500 a month. I don't know about you, but if somebody took $1,500 out of my my source of income each month, I'm going to feel it. I need to find a way to protect that $1,500 a month. Again, the variables here. We don't know who is going to die first. We don't know when they're going to die. We know it is going to happen to one of them at some point. For illustrative purposes, I'm going to say my mother-in-law is 67. My father-in-law is 68. Our job as professionals here is to protect that $1,500. We know it's going away at some point. How do we protect it? A dime to protect a dollar. A dime to protect a dollar. Take 10%. Now we're taking 10% for Ben, 10% for Pat, because we don't know who is going to go first. So we're going to take 10% of $1,500 for Ben. That's $150 for Ben. We're also going to take $150 for Pat. $300 collectively between the two of them. So we're going to take 20%, keep the 80% to live on. That 20%, we're going to put that into a life insurance policy, a simplified issue life insurance policy where there's no medical exams, liberal underwriting, quick issue. Based on my father-in-law, we're going to say he's 68 years old. He's a non-smoker. We can get him $150 a month. We'll get him a little over $22,000 in a death benefit. The company that I used in this scenario, by the way, is a company called Liberty Bankers. Use whatever company, simplified issue company that you want. For my mother-in-law, because she's younger, she's female, $150 gets her just shy of $32,000 a month in a death benefit. So again, taking $150 for each, $22,000 death benefit for Ben, just shy of $32,000 a month for my mother-in-law. Okay. Well, let me tell you a little story. So my father-in-law, a year ago, passed away. Unexpectedly. It was very quick. And my father-in-law's pension from the state stopped. Social Security benefits stopped. So now my mother-in-law could use that $22,000 benefit and then draw $1,500 a month from that for the next 14-ish months. She now knows that she has 14 months to be able to get her financial affairs in order. So keep in mind that my mother-in-law, her hours because of COVID got slashed. Now, to compound things, her husband died. Ben died. And that source of Social Security income has also been slashed. So now what they were living on, $4,500 a month, now it's down to $3,000 a month plus whatever she gets in salary. She feels the financial pinch. So getting that $1,500 a month, basically through the life insurance policy, is extending that death benefit or extending that Social Security benefit for 14 months. So now the variable that we know is who went first? Ben. When did he go? Last year. And now we know that we have to start doing some maneuvering financially, and the family can work together to help financially for my mother-in-law to help her get her financial affairs in order. If it means downsizing, if it means whatever it means, whether it means we help her with meals, whatever it is, cutting back here, there, and anywhere. So she knows that she has the ability to still get that $1,500 for 15 months. I hope this is all making sense here. Now, what my mother-in-law with that benefit is she's able to continue to pay the mortgage that they refinanced well before COVID when interest rates were really low. They had refinanced their home. And now she still has a mortgage payment. utility bills, credit cards, car payments, medical bills, food, clothing, other expenses. They're able to still have that $4,500 a month income, knowing that it's going to be dropped down to $3,000 a month in roughly 14 months or so. So my mother-in-law, Pat, can continue to do that. Here's the kicker. When I presented this, my mother-in-law and father-in-law decided not to do it at that time. So that's another story. I'm seeing in real time, in real life, the effects of not protecting that income, that source of income. And a simplified issue exam with very little underwriting, quick decisions would have helped my mother-in-law greatly. So don't let your clients suffer like this. Money is a awful thing when you don't have enough of it. So here, protect your clients, give them the ability to continue to pay their mortgage, rent, utilities, credit cards, car payments, and the other expenses. It's really more or less being able to spoil grandkids and great grandkids if they have that. So that's the Social Security Protection Plan. So you're able to help pay that. But the other thing that you're able to buy, and they say that money you can't buy time. Well, in this scenario, it does buy time. So you're able to continue that $1,500 a month for 14 months. It buys them an additional year post that person's death or whatever it is. Some people may say, I can't afford it. I understand. Maybe you can use a nickel to buy a dollar. So you're only taking 5%. Leaving something is better than leaving nothing at all. Again, it allows you to get it allows the client, I should say, to get their financial affairs in order and make some financial adjustments instead of it just being being pulled out right from under them. They're able to then be able to grieve and be able to get their financial affairs in order and make some adjustments. So you're going to get some questions that are going to come up throughout this. One of them is going to be, why is it a simplified issue whole life? I get asked this quite a bit. And it's very simple. It's a quick issue policy that provides lifetime death benefit guarantees with limited underwriting. The rates are locked in. There's not going to be this surprise. So again, we're taking 10% for each person, and we're able to take that and buy a death benefit. What that death benefit is, then they're able to draw the income off of that. And you basically, all I did is took $22,000, divided it by 1,500, and that's how many months that I'm able to extend that $1,500 a month benefit. Another question is, can I pass this on to my kids? And yes, you can. Now remember, goal number one is to protect each other. Husband, wife, spouse, partner. You're protecting each other in that scenario. Now, if they both die at the same time, the kids can then be listed as a contingent beneficiary, or grandkids can be listed as contingent beneficiary, and then they will then be able to disperse the funds that way. Some people may say to you, well, I already have life insurance. Respond, that's great. That's perfect. This is a program backed by life insurance that is to protect your Social Security income. So your life insurance is your life insurance. This is to protect your Social Security income. Is this all kind of making sense so far? I hope so. Another response you might get is, I can't afford it. Now remember, you're reiterating the fact that you're only taking 10% for each, 20%. They get to live on the 80% that's left over. Again, we don't know who's going first. We don't know when. But we just know that it's going to happen. It's not an if, it's a when. So if 10%, if they will feel the effects there, they're definitely going to feel the effects when $1,500 a month doesn't get, when they lose that $1,500 a month or whatever that benefit is. So it's either they do a little something now, or they're going to lose a lot of something later on down the road. see here. Okay, let me move on to the next slide here. So I wanted to kind of show you as Medicare professionals what the numbers look like for presenting this. If you sit down with 20 household presentations, you're probably going to get about 6 sales. It's about 30% of the people you sit down with. So if the average is $100 a month per person, that's $2,400 a year, times those 6 households, you're looking at a little over $14,000 in commissionable premium. Now, if you break it down to maybe 300 clients and you sit down with 30% of them, you will, based on paying $100 a month per person, you're looking at around $200,000 or more in annualized premium. That is how you're able to grow your business. You're helping the clients first and foremost in so many ways: Medicare and Social Security, the two big things that your clients rely on most, that get taken away at the drop of a dime. So here are the next steps. If this is something that you want to do and you want to be able to help protect your client's Social Security, one is you need to make the decision if you want to protect your client's Social Security income. As I had mentioned before, this is an opportunity. I wanted to put a bug in your ear now, so that as you're going into AEP here in about 2 weeks' time, that you can also help them compliantly with protecting their Social Security income. You can contact me directly at 717-216-8041, or you can email me at matta@urlinsgroup.com. Together, we can select the companies that will work best for your clients in your state and in your client base. We'll go over how to submit business. We'll go over how to quote it, the whole 9 yards. While we're doing that, we'll get your contracts processed and we'll get you the materials start so that you can start right away. You can kind of brush up on all this stuff. Now, some of you are going to say, I am so busy running from appointment to appointment during AEP. I get it. This is why I'm talking to you now, so that you keep this in the back of your mind, so that when AEP dust settles, late December, beginning of January, that you're now circling back with them early in the year to help them protect their Social Security income. So have that in your mind. The other thing is, you may want to be able to help them, and you may want to get that thing going sooner rather than later. We do have an Orion referral program, meaning we will work on your behalf. We will pay you a commission on that. Basically, we just split the commission, and we'll work with your client. They're still your clients, and we will help them protect their Social Security income. It'll probably be yours truly that'll work with your client to help them protect their Social Security income. So there's a couple of ways that you can do this. Or if you have working on an agency, or you have a staff and you're the Medicare person, you can push the Social Security stuff off to somebody else on your staff, on your team, and you can just keep that wheel moving. And I'm telling you, this is a great opportunity for you and everybody involved. So I do have some questions that are coming in. Jay, great to see you. He asked, for the good of the group, and the premiums that you use for your in-laws based on monthly or annual. That is a monthly premium. So since they're getting a monthly deposit from Social Security, a monthly income check, we're taking 10% for Ben, 10% for Pat, and so 20% collectively each month. And the other nice thing about the products that we have is that we can coincide, or we can coordinate the premium payments to go the same day that they get their Social Security benefit. So it is on a monthly basis. Thanks for asking for that clarification. If you do have other questions, and I know we kind of went through this and kind of jumped in this with both feet. I know we had some audio problems at the beginning of this. So I appreciate everybody's sticking with me here and letting me know that the audio wasn't working. That was a good thing there, and I'm glad it's working now. So again, a dime to protect a dollar. You can contact me at 717-216-8041 or email me at matt@urlinsgroup.com. If there's any other questions, don't hesitate to give me a call. Give this a whirl. I promise you this is going to be something that is first and foremost helping your clients, at least forecasting what's going to happen when their significant other or when they pass away, on how they can protect them. The idea first is you're helping them on Medicare, but the next thing is that you are helping them with protecting the Social Security benefits for each other. Children, grandchildren, great-grandkids are secondary. The idea is first and foremost the couple, the household Social Security income, and then it disperses from there. Did get a question from Mary. Hi, Mary. Is there a max age? Technically, no. Most of the companies will go up to age 85. There are some companies that we have that'll even go up to age 89 or 90. They're probably not going to get as much of a death benefit at that point. The idea is to get them early, 65 and on up, 65, 70, 75. That way you're able to protect and get a bigger death benefit. And there's also less likelihood that they have some medical conditions that'll keep them from qualifying. So appreciate everybody's time. Have a great AEP. Remember that you have us here as your back office support. We're here to help you any way that we can. We're in the people business. We're helping you, and we're helping you help people. So appreciate everybody's time on there. Again, with any other questions, 717-216-8041 or email me at matta@urlinsgroup.com. Take care, everybody, and make it a great day.